All right.
Pardon the interruption.
Sorry about that.
As I was saying,
but yes,
Like a Dragon
turn-based
Infinite
combat, very, very good.
yes, very good turn-based combat because it includes the positioning of your characters and enemies. So when you do like area attacks, it really matters where you're standing, where the enemies are standing. You can knock back people into each other, and as you strengthen your bonds with your friends, the true power of friendship, you can hit enemies into your friends and they'll follow up. They'll do more follow-up attacks and really just stack a bunch of damage. You've got your array of, status ailments, some more fun and some more annoying than others. Who doesn't like to be drunk during a turn-based battle, Some abilities will actually even get stronger if you're more drunk. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's the game is gritty, the game is funny. The game, will get really serious in a cutscene once you actually start talking about the story and what everybody is actually doing in Hawaii. But it's great. I love the dynamics of it. You can even go to a mall and play some Sega Bass Fishing or Virtua Fighter, win a prize in a UFO claw machine, and somehow all of this mini game campy fun action that you do between all your turn-based RPG stuff, it actually adds to your stats, and it finds a way to improve your combat capabilities.
Okay.
Or you can do side quests that will unlock people that you can summon during combat, and you'll see a few of those, maybe your lobster friend or your pound mates. Even there is a mini game where you can online date, and you have to input button combinations to send people DMs and try to go out on a date with them because Ichiban's on the market. Yes, but the two of all the minigame fun but really deep and actually very impactful things you can do in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, there is Sujimon and Dondoko Island.
Sujimon, huh?
Yeah. So this was introduced in the previous Like a Dragon game, where you can kind of collect these really strong but really vagabond type people, and you can recruit them to fight in Sujimon, pretty much like Pokemon battles on the street. So they have different stats and abilities, and there's the traditional water beats fire, fire beats grass, grass beats water, and then there's light and dark types that oppose each other. There's a whole really fun minigame that I honestly tried to ignore in late in 2024, but as I picked up the game again in 2025, I got super into Sujimon and the other time funnel, Dondoko Island, which is pretty much Animal Crossing. So you can even you develop your island, you build buildings on it, you earn money, and it's a resort. So you invite people that you meet, side quests that you complete, characters that you satisfy. You invite them to your resort, show them a good time, and you build a thriving enterprise eventually. But your Sujimon raising, you can actually put them to work on your farm on Dondoko Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so eventually I did get bit by the minigame bug and was hit by this feedback loop of I'm going to go back to Hawaii, I'm going to train up my Sujimon, I'm going to get some gym badges, and then I'm going to go back to my island, and then I'm going to bash mounds of trash with a baseball bat, which is the perfect way to dispose of any garbage.
Oh my god. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Get some rocks, get some wood, clear out some washbucklers, which is the group of kind of pirate bad guys who started leaving their trash on the island in the first place. They're your Dondoko antagonists. Yeah.
Your whole so does the whole Dondoko minigame have its own storyline?
Yes. Actually,
oh my god,
it totally does, and it's worth doing. I kind of I got it to the end. You work your way up the resort star system until your resort has 5 stars. And there's a couple like multiplayer features for the minigames. The online feature for Dondoko Island is that you can travel to other people's islands, go sightseeing. You can have Sujimon battles with other people on their islands.
Like other players?
Yeah, people upload their islands and you can visit them and you get sightseeing points and you unlock all kinds of crazy stuff until eventually like Kiryu and all the main characters are visitors on your island resort and staying in your little hotels rooms that you build and enjoying your props. The objects and buildings and stuff you place have traits like, oh, this is very pop, or this is very sleazy, or this is very elegant, this is very rustic. You know, those are the 4 traits that you can give to your island with the stuff that you put on it. And yeah, it gets deep. Yeah, I funneled a good amount of time. I'm about at like 120 hours total doing this to completion, doing all the side quests I want. Eating food with my friends and strengthening our bonds. So yeah, I have a whole lot of love for this game. And probably I was telling Vector before the show, this is probably the best way to play Sega bass fishing in the current state of the market, because of the haptic feedback on PS5. When you're holding the trigger, reeling in a fish, you get a little pushback from the DualSense controller. So yeah, a whole lot of Sega love coming out of CFM Radio right now. The only complaint, not even necessarily coming from me, but that I've heard about this game, since I really don't have a lot of bad things to say about it, is that the job classes are a little too wacky, you know? Like, I'm in a party with a cowboy and a samurai and a Bruce Lee impersonator and a housemaid, you know? And I'm like, man, you just don't like to have a good time. But yeah, this is a great RPG. Even if you don't really play RPGs, you really should play a Yakuza game. And if this is something that tickles your fancy, it's almost a must play.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So on the, is there anything that's difficult to approach? Is there anything like a new player would be like lost, or like does this game get in the weeds about lore or anything like that? Is this really just one of those games where if you're interested, fuck it, pick it up?
Yeah, I would recommend, at least the only part that I felt was I kind of wish I had played the first one more, because that was good. You won't really get much of an introduction to Ichiban Kasuga or Kazuma Kiryu, since Ichiban's been in one game before and Kiryu's been in like 8.
Yeah, he's been in all of them.
He's been around, man.
Yeah, he's been around the block, dude.
He is a veteran of the Yakuza scene for sure. And yeah, so you might want to pick up on a bit of the lore, the Yakuza lore, or even just play Yakuza 0 a little bit. That's
true.
Kind of agreed upon as the best entry point nowadays. But yeah, the only thing you might be missing if you're just completely out of the blue new and picking this up was your introduction to Kazuma Kiryu and his sort of a bit of the lore is that, like, you know, he spent time in jail, he came out, and the world was different. Like, that more or less sums it up, you know? And the other piece of lore is, like, the great disillusion that happened where the Yakuza gangs kind of just tried to split up and maybe not do so much Yakuza stuff.
Yes.
Yep. But if you can't or haven't heard it in my tone and inflection and absolute adoration of this game and this series, for me, this is a 5 out of 5. This is a 5-star game. This is a great game. Go enjoy some.
5 out of 5. You heard it here, CFM Radio. That is Like a Dragon, infinite wealth. Drix, according to him, doesn't matter. If you're interested in it, if you even think it just looks cool, if Drix has even piqued your interest a little bit, even if You think it's funny, haha, the cutscene that you're seeing right now with the girl seeing a nude Ichiban on the beach. If you want to see that, you should buy the game and see it. Drix gives it a 5 out of 5. Not given lightly around here on Clusterfucked Media because, listen, we all know that most games have their flaws. Pretty much every game does. If your flaw for your game is my character classes are a little too goofy, I think you're on pretty solid footing.
Yeah, no, and even there's very little like glitchiness or bugginess that you can, it's not Bethesda at all, stuff. Even like the collision detection and like movement and turning like feels natural. Stuff that you could really nitpick about on other games is really just knocking it out of the park here. So kudos to Ryuga Gotoku Studios.
And that is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. 5 out of 5 from Clusterfucked Media on CFM Radio. Go check it out.
Yeah, I already got Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii all queued up next in my backlog of RPGs.
And the next thing we have queued is the review for Mario Kart World. If you got a Switch 2, it's the thing you've got. But first, Drix, I think we're going to squeeze in some new releases. What do you say?
Yeah. Man, it's been a while. It's glad to be back and telling you what's been going on and what has been coming out and what you can go out and play.
And we've got some pretty good ones today, Drix. We've got a nice little indie showing. We've got something for the old heads like us. A couple of things for the old heads like us. But both of those remastered. One of them is a remaster. The other one is just a re-release. And these are a couple of games we think you might want to check out. First up, we have Raiden Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. Drix, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, exactly. Nice JRPG transition from Sega to Atlas, and you'll recognize a lot of the Atlas monsters in Raiden.
Oh yeah, especially if you are a fan of Persona or Shin Megami Tensei, because from the Steam page, quote, the story of apprentice detective and devil summoner extraordinaire Raiden Kuzunoha the 14th returns in this remastered classic. Call upon your demons to solve supernatural mysteries and dispose of enemies. Drix, Raiden Remastered hits PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Switch 2 this Thursday, June 19th. Drix, that's tomorrow.
Oh yeah, no, there have been ads targeted at me in anticipation of this one. So yeah, definitely for you Devil Summoner fans, your Shin Megami Tenseis, your Personas, yeah, get some of that anime love.
If you are someone who loves those games but has never played the Raiden Kuzunoha games, you should check them out because you're in for a treat. You want to talk action RPG? This is the Shin Megami take on it.
Oh, so not turn-based is what we're talking.
No, this is Raiden, baby. He goes in on the action.
Yeah, and I like his JoJo hat.
Right? He's pretty awesome. And the next up, we have what looks like a nice little indie darling. We've got Vessels of Decay.
Oh yeah, bring on the pixel art action adventure.
And this one has some beautiful pixel art, Drix. From the Steam page, quote, Vessels of Decay is a retro-inspired action adventure set in a post-apocalyptic Scandinavia. You'll follow siblings Freyja and Mud as they navigate an overgrown world, one where monsters of myth and ancient folklore now reign. Vessels of Decay hits PC, PS5 and 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch also tomorrow, Thursday, June 19th. Drix, that's a big day.
Oh yeah. No, and this one's feeling pretty familiar to Drova Forsaken Kin, the game I reviewed last year.
Yeah, Drova Forsaken Kin, or if you've ever played Children of Morta, also reminds me of that game. Definitely
good games.
Yeah, great games. Definitely some games that we both had a lot of fun with. And Vessels of Decay looks like it will scratch that itch.
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, our last new release of the week is one that you can grab right now. And Drix, I think you and I both know it's Tail time.
It's Tail time. Yeah, big time.
From the Steam page, quote, "The Gex trilogy reproduces all 3 original games in exacting detail, precisely the way you remember them. Assuming you've gone senile and remember them having high-definition native 16:9 widescreen visuals and fully analog controls, which they didn't. No, this is the Gex. This is the Gex series, the way it was meant to be played. And the Gex trilogy, Drix, is out now for PC, PS5, and Xbox One, along with Nintendo Switch."
Yes, I've been excited for this one. Nothing really comes quite as close to Gex's sense of humor and one-liners while you're platforming and tail whipping around Mario style.
And to be fair, you know, okay, so these games have right before we take a break and jump and come back from Mario Kart. These games usually get memed on pretty hard, but I will say, as someone who played them as a kid, they were in a sea of incompetent and middling and mediocre platformers. Gex did stand out mainly because it was competent.
Yeah. No, there was good stuff, good mechanics, good comedy, good story. Nice gotta love a good like world select level,
Yeah,
you know. Not so much in the first side scroller game, but yeah, he successfully made the transition from 2D to 3D platforming, which not a lot of platformers can say they did.
Yeah, and like it's because this wasn't one of those things where like, oh man, all the platformers on like this was on Xbox, this was on Nintendo 64 and PlayStation. You know, this game, it was ubiquitous with everything. It didn't matter what you had the opportunity to play Gex. And like, yeah, is there some things that may have aged poorly? Sure. And the 2D people, your mileage may vary with like 2D side scroller, right? But when push comes to shove, it's important. These Gex games are, funny enough, have gotten to a point where they are pretty important to look back at and say, wow, like, you know,
they did some stuff right.
They did some stuff right. And here's a character who had a decent amount of charm, you know?
Oh yeah.
People still remember Gex. Like, you know, Dana Gold, right? Like, yeah.
Actual comedian doing comedy.
Yeah. So if you haven't checked, if you're like platformers, you kind of, I don't want to say owe it to yourself to check out Gex, but like it's definitely one of those curiosities where you wouldn't think this. I don't know how well it holds up, right? But you wouldn't think that in the era of like crazy high, like the, I guess, platforming renaissance, right? Like 3D platformer renaissance, where, like you were saying earlier, Drix, not a lot of these mascots made that jump from 2D to 3D in a very graceful way, you know?
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Bubsy.
Yeah, I mean, shit, even Sonic the Hedgehog had a hard time. Like, you know,
had some bumps.
Yeah.
Going too fast on the road.
It was crazy. So Gex is an interesting little relic of history. I'm glad he's back. You can pick it up now, pretty much on everything. So if you want to check it out and get in some and see what people really mean when they say 90s nostalgia, you go for it.
Yeah, this is the one you want to get for those member berries.
Absolutely. And Drix, you know what? We're gonna take this break because I gotta jam out to this dreamy track. What do we got going on with this?
Oh man, if you ever see a bicycle attached to an arcade cabinet, you might be looking at Prop Cycle. So this is the song Cliff Rock from, I'm pretty sure it was Sega that made this, the propeller cycle game, Prop Cycle, Cliff Rock.
Cliff Rock, Prop Cycle, CFM Radio.
Let's fly.
Kirby, that's a name you should know. Kirby, he's the star of the show. He's more than you think, he's got maximum pink. Kirby's the one. He comes right back at ya. He comes right back at ya. Give it all that you got, take your very best shot. He'll send you right back at you for sure, yeah. By his side, so won't believe your eyes. Kirby's the one. Right back at ya. Yeah.
CFM Radio, we are back.
Yeah, we're back, and Gex isn't the only one coming right back at you, because that was Kirby right back at you for the game Donkey Konga to kick off our next little Nintendo-based segment.
Absolutely. God, I remember that Kirby show that they pulled that from for that game. That was an incredible show.
Yeah, so good. You know, Southern King Dedede.
Yeah, Southern King Dedede. Amazing. And you know what? We are just going to hop right into it because it is absolutely time for the CFM Radio review of Mario Kart World. Guys, you know what? You got to... Switch 2 is out. This is the only game, right?
Yeah. No, it's the whole reason anybody's buying one of these.
Yeah, if you don't have this game. If you don't have this, then what the fuck are you even playing? Like,
what even is you doing?
What is even out there? I mean, God knows who. You buy the Switch, it comes with the game. If you bought the bundle, if you didn't buy the bundle, this shit's $80. Like, it's crazy. But
yeah,
is it worth it? That's what we're here to discuss, Drix. Is this game worth that crazy eights on the price tag? And you know what, Drix? I gotta tell you, much like a luxury vehicle, your mileage may vary. Because Mario Kart World, so let's just say it like this. I took from the jump, and I had to check myself, because from the jump I took a very, very objective look at Mario Kart World without even really consciously understanding what I was doing. We've been playing Mario Kart 8 for the better part of 2 decades, so
yeah.
I kind of was expecting... I don't know what I was expecting, but I honestly was thinking I put my expectations rather low. But Drix, I gotta tell you, even though my expectations were admittedly low, I'm blown away.
That is good news.
Yeah, mainly because here's the thing. This game is kind of a bittersweet one for me. And I'm going to push the positives on it, because I actually really do think that you might not want to. I know some people, Mario Kart isn't for them, and sure, right? Maybe pick this up later, get it when it's on sale. I'm sure it's going to be on sale at some point. It's $80, right? But there will be a contingent of people who really, really, really like this game. And the only reason why I can confidently say that is because I really do think this is a sort of a come to Jesus, return to form moment for the franchise. There's a lot of concepts here that feel really well thought out. They feel like the natural evolution from the next, like to the next big thing. Nothing feels like meaningless. There does like anti-gravity in Mario Kart 8 was kind of memed on because a lot of people didn't understand or feel the impact, and I kind of agree. There wasn't a lot of times where you were anti-gravity on a track and it really meant something, or you really felt it in the gameplay. It didn't really there was no real profound, like, oh man, I'm like on the side of like the building, but no one really cares. So this game is completely different, and it takes, I'm not gonna lie, it takes a lot of it borrows liberally from the past. And I'm not talking nostalgia. I'm talking about tried and true cartoon racer tropes. All-terrain style driving. You see me on water. You see me off-road. You see me in a plane. You know, you give me that Diddy Kong racing. I can go everywhere, do everything. Boom. Step, like the first pillar, solid. Next pillar, slick drift / power slide system. Listen, the drift and power slide system has been finicky. It doesn't matter what people say. Drift and power slide system hasn't really felt right since like the Mario Kart, I wouldn't say Wii, but you know, this game, the drifting feels perfect. Every time you nail those mini turbos and those, especially when you hit the level 3, when you figure it out, it's awesome. Plus, Mario Kart World incorporates all of the old tried and true cartoon racing tropes, such as wall riding, rail grinding, and mid-air tricks. And all of these things brought into the lens of Mario Kart from other disparate genre racers, such as, you know, such as Sonic Racing All-Stars, and like maybe the odd Nickelodeon kart racer, right? Some of those have good stuff, but nothing ever really feels like it all quite fits together perfectly. This has that Nintendo polish to where it's so good, you only feel I would imagine, the impact that the developers intended you to feel. When you're on the water, it really does feel like you're like dunking up and down and fighting against currents. And like if you're being observant, you're rewarded with sort of like you could do like a higher jump if you time it right and jump off of a wave, and then you get a trick, you know. So there's a lot of cool racing nuance that you can really get good at, and there's a lot of different really fun ways that the terrain and the terrain changes really make you feel like you're doing something totally different that you've never done before. And I'm not gonna lie, the skins, people clown on skins, but Drix, this is one of those games where the skins feel just straight up fun.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of costumes to dig through in this bad boy.
And they're all, I don't need to pay a cent of real money for any of them. Listen, some of these might take me a while to unlock. A lot of them are RNG, but that doesn't really matter because those kinds of things are really cool. And if you're racing a lot, you're probably going to get them quicker than you think. And that's just one of those things. They just happen to, you just change on the fly during a race. You're also always encouraged to get the little meals that you see on the road because they act as good speed boosts and a tier above, as an item tier above a mushroom. So it's like a better mushroom. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Now we're going to move into the things that I think people might find polarizing. Now, these are the things that I don't necessarily think are bad. I just think these things people might find polarizing. And first up, it's going to sound weird, but it's the difficulty.
Ooh, okay. Karting too hard, are we?
I would say that this is probably the most difficult Mario Kart I've played since Double Dash.
Wow.
Back on the GameCube. And boy, oh boy, guys, if you didn't play Double Dash, that game was fucking hard. Like, it really didn't want you to win. Like, it really tried everything it could to, especially if you are a solo player. Oh, man, forget about it. It was so tough.
Yeah, good luck.
But this is one of those things where you'll hit that 150cc button, and oh my God, I'll say it like this, Drix. There's a lot of great modes in this one. I love Knockout Tour. Still haven't won one.
Wow. Yeah, that'll happen.
It gets so cutthroat. But and I'm just talking about versus CPUs. But you know, and that's just one of those things where, man, if you want to get those golds, this game really makes you work for it. Those Grand Prix are pretty cool. And I gotta say, these modes, this ain't your mama's Grand Prix. And
no.
The main reason why I say that is because this is a new way to experience Mario Kart. And again, it's a polarizing thing, but I personally like it. So how a Grand Prix works now is how a Grand Prix used to work is you go to a track and race at 3 laps, right?
Yeah, standard.
That's not how it works in Mario Kart World. In Mario Kart World, you drive on the open road to the next track.
Okay.
And then you race 1 lap.
Ooh, different locales. You give it a run and then head somewhere else.
Yes. So you're always changing things up, and it really feels like you're just moving through it, and the race never stops. And it feels fun. I love the feeling, but I also understand people who might want to do traditional 3-lap races. That is a big jarring difference. And I will say, I can't lie.
Yeah.
It was very strange as a franchise-long fan to not race on every track 3 times.
Yeah, that's just so built into racing games. You know, it's like I want to learn how to do this turn and not want to do it good over and over again so I can go faster and come in first. But not here. You're a Mario Kart Most Wanted. You're Mario Kart Hot Pursuit.
Yeah, it pretty much feels like that because Drix did. And finally, the last polarizing thing is the items. And it might sound weird, right? But these items are probably the deadliest they've ever been.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know, it's fun, but in a dangerous way to hear that.
If you've been watching the B-roll, you've been seeing it sometimes. You know, I just did it right now. You know, there's a lot of openness to all the tracks, and a lot of them have unintentional routes, and there's a lot of deceptive destructibility in these tracks. A lot of these barriers, like road barriers, you can just barrel through them if you're running fast enough. They just fly out of the way. So it doesn't really matter. But if you go off the track, Locky 2 will pull you off. It doesn't matter if you fall off. It doesn't matter if you go into the water. You know, if you are not on the track and you don't, and there are times where sometimes it's unclear because it's in an open world.
Where is track?
Yeah, where is track? So, like, you know, sometimes you'll be, like, running around, and this is the worst part of the game, is that, like, you make a sick turn, and you're like, damn, that was so awesome, and then all of a sudden, Locky 2 pulls you away, and now you're behind everyone.
Cool. Guess that wasn't the track.
That was not the track. So, there's good and bad. The online is pretty good. I have not the greatest connection right now, but I'm still having great competitive races online.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so here's the real deal. And I'm gonna give my full switch to launch impressions next week when I've had my full time to really get into the nitty gritty with the console, but on a personal level. But I gotta tell you, Drix, I'm gonna give Mario Kart World a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, not bad for trying so many new things. You know, things that we've all gotten used to over decades.
And it's for me, for a franchise-long fan, it is a nice shakeup. But man, this game's pretty tough. The graphics look great, but I mean, they're nothing better than anything that you've seen on any other console. It's awesome to see Mario like this. The open world is fine, but there's a lot of collectibles without a ton of reward. All the suits are unlocked, and the costumes are unlocked via races, and eating the food. And some of these enemy characters, like the jobber types, like the Pianta and the sidestepper, and like the bat and shit like that, like the jobbers that the game really like tried to advertise heavily. Those are all RNG. Like, there's an item, I showcased it here, where Kamek comes in and turns you into another character for a limited amount of time. You just need to be on the right track when Kamek hits you.
Huh.
And then, like, you unlock that character if you don't already have him. So, it's a pretty interesting game. There's no microtransactions, which is nice, but it is Nintendo, and that's kind of to be expected from them. I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, but at the same time, since the game, while it is fully featured, it did lose a decent amount from the last installment. And even though Mario Kart 8 Deluxe wasn't perfect, it still had things like guest characters. You know, you can play as Link. You can play as Isabelle, you can play as the Animal Crossing villager, you know what I mean? You can play as the squid kid from Splatoon. Like, you could do all those things. In this game, you don't have any of that. You have Mario, you have their characters, they're in a bunch of different suits, then you have all the jobbers that Mario beats up on the regular. Like,
yeah.
You know, so if you really like Goomba, then this is the game for you, right?
Finally.
yeah, right. My God, finally I can play as Chargin' Chuck. Like, my favorite Mario character. And it's not to say that there aren't new characters that are cool. Like, you see me racing around as Pauline. You know what I mean? DK has his new look. Like, there's a lot of good in the game, and it is a really nice, polished game. It's really nice to see these disparate elements that other kart racers and cartoon racers have integrated into the genre be finally put into Mario Kart and see it with that level of polish. Feels great. Is it worth buying a Switch 2 for? Probably not, unless you're really into what you're seeing. Like, if you're really into what you're seeing and you want to play it online all the time, then hell yeah, go get yourself Switch 2, dude. 100% every day. But if this is just...
Yeah, go play those first-party Nintendo games.
But as someone, and I'm going to elaborate next week, this kind of is it for now. And,
yeah, right?
And on its own, without the baggage of it being the killer app, I got to give it the 4. I can't give it a 5. And because I gave it a 4 out of the virtue, I can only recommend that you go and buy this with a Switch 2. If what you are seeing is something that you really want. Because again, it's a 4 out of 5. And if you are a Mario Kart fan, then you know what? I'm a Mario Kart fan, and I say that it's a must buy. But as someone who also owns a PS5, also engages in a fair bit of cloud gaming on Game Pass, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this game is carrying the weight of the entire console right now.
Yeah.
Could use a little bit of relief.
And as a 4 out
maybe
of 5,
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, exactly. And as a 4 out of 5, I don't think it carries the weight of the console because there are things that it really, this game really does fall short on, like such as the track design, where like it is ambiguous. Sometimes you'll be like, well, wait, what the fuck? I thought that was the road. Oh well.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see that really getting in the way.
There is, and it doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't happen often, but when it happens, you just never forget.
Yep. You're like, okay, maybe I'll play another console.
Yeah, maybe I'll do something else because I just lost this online race. Because
shame.
Because
public shame.
Because I took a turn that wasn't the real turn. So there are things like that. Again, never been done in a Mario Kart before, but very ambitious. I got to give it credit where credit's due, but it's not perfect. It's a 4 out of 5.
All right, new Mario Kart, everyone.
New Mario Kart. Like I said, you know, it's a cool game. I really like it. I'm playing the shit out of it. I'm gonna be streaming it next week. I love this game. But you know, I'm a Mario Kart fan. And as a Mario Kart fan, yes, amazing. I love it. They brought back all the things that I really liked about Mario Kart. Granted, there's not 2 people on one kart, but mechanically, it feels just as rich, which is all I really wanted. And as far as that is concerned, that's great. But is this going to be for everyone? No. Like, straight up.
Well, then.
Straight up, no. Some people are going to love this. Some people are going to hate this. Because this really does feel like it is trying to be a sort of, like, have a little bit more depth as an experience.
Yeah, it took them a while. They said they were working on this one for a bit, too. And it's unlike anything Mario Kart has done previously.
Yeah.
So.
It lives up to that mantle. It's just not. It just doesn't make it a perfect game.
Yep, that's allowed.
And with that, we're going to talk quickly about the next generation Xbox details. We'll save Donkey Kong Bonanza for our review.
Its release.
Because I'm just gonna pick it up. And you know what? We'll just drop that. Sarah Bond's lovely little face right here. And so, Drix, rumor has it that this reveal came hot off the heels of a hardware leak.
Oh, okay. So they might just be doing some damage control for what escaped the pocket, huh?
So now, I haven't looked into hardware leak, but it seems to me that the Xbox console, if what Ms. Bond is saying is true, is not going to just be a gaming PC.
Yeah, okay. It's definitely some clickbait I saw somewhere saying, "Oh, new Xbox is just a PC."
A lot of people are saying that, and I think that's where the leaks kind of point you. But like she's saying right here, it's not going to be a PC. It's going to be a game console, and she explains in this preview that even though they're partnering with AMD for their chipset technology, AI-powered chipset technology, right? Yeesh. But they're getting that, but they want your Xbox to kind of be like your entertainment hub.
Okay. Not just Game Pass machine?
You know, again, where have we seen this before, right? We've seen that, like, and here's my whole thing with this, Drix. You said it better than I could. Game Pass machine?
Yeah.
Because it's funny when you watch this announcement, in the very beginning, they tout all the different ways that you could play Xbox. So even, let's just say it like this. Let's say I was really interested in the next Xbox. I'm increasingly not, but let's say I am.
let's hypothetical here.
Why would I not just do what Sarah suggested in the beginning and get a new TV that has Game Pass on it?
Yeah, right? They're just starting to stuff it into the smart TVs now, huh? All you need is a controller.
That's what she said in the beginning. She showed that little thing playing Call of Duty. Like, you know, if my TV just straight out of the box can just play Black Ops 6, why the fuck am I even thinking about an Xbox?
Yeah. Some strange decisions over from Microsoft in their gaming arenas.
Yeah, so like and like, hey, listen, not for nothing, if this new Xbox comes out and it's like the bee's knees and it really does push consoles into a new direction for a generation, I'll eat my words, right? It's happened to me before on the show. I gladly admit whenever I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong a lot of this. Listen, on CFM Radio, I kind of want to be wrong, okay?
Yeah, I hope we're wrong.
Like, yeah. You know, we're just telling you the facts.
A little on the
as we've
pessimistic
found
side
them,
sometimes.
You know, yeah. You know, we just find the facts and we just report the news. I'm not making it.
Yeah.
So
I want to have hope.
yeah. So, like, if they actually push console gaming into a new paradigm, fuck yeah, I'm all for it. But if they're not going to do it, then what's going to stop me?
Back out.
Yeah, what's going to stop me from getting a new TV that has Game Pass in it if I want to play Fable, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know, Drix. Like, you know, like, would you get an Xbox or would you get just a TV with Xbox on it?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. They probably cost about the same, and you know, you buy the Xbox, you still need a TV anyway.
Yeah, shit. God, when you put it like that.
It's like you're just skipping the middleman.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that, you know?
Xbox still needs screen.
Yeah, why would I do that? Like, I mean...
Next thing you know, they're going to have a touchscreen Xbox or something.
Well, that's that little ROG thing, right? That Xbox ROG. They also showed it at the beginning of the thing. Like, it's like a little handheld Xbox. But, like, you know...
Yeah.
It's an interesting... It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out for him. Like, you know, and here's the thing. I'll be the first one to say, at this point in time, Game Pass is looking pretty sweet. You've got a lot of cool games on Game Pass right now. In the past, it's been a little dodgy, right? You tried it, kind of fell out of love with it. I've been a Game Pass subscriber from the jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
if I want to hit Blockbuster, I'll subscribe to Game Pass for another month.
Yeah, see, there you go. And that's kind of how it ends up being. But
the old rental store.
Yeah, and it really, and it's weird because I don't know what regular gamer has the time within the last, let's just say 3 months, to play Avowed, Doom the Dark Ages, and Expedition 33 back to back to back.
Yeah. It's like, are you going to Game Pass those?
Yeah, like, are you gonna Game Pass these like 2 like 30+ hour RPGs and this like 20-hour action shooter?
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of time gaming. And like, yeah, I could probably swing that when I was like 17.
Before responsibilities.
Yeah, but like, you know, if I'm paying this $20 a month, it's like you said, Drix, I'm kind of like just kind of paying for a sampler. Do I want to renew that next month? I mean, fuck. You know? Play some
Expedition
Avowed.
33 was only $55.
Yeah,
man.
right. Expedition 33 is only $55.
I'll just keep it, thanks.
Yeah,
Not feel rushed
I think
to
about
play
that
it.
all the time. I think about things. What if I walk into a GameStop and I see Expedition 33 used for like $40? You know what I mean? Like, that's 2 Game
That's a month of Game Pass.
Yeah, that's
2 months of Game Pass.
It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? I might as well just buy the game, and then I have it. You know?
Yeah.
So
I'll definitely play this for more than 2 months.
So when it comes to Game Pass on like a TV, right? Fuck it, even a handheld, the Game Pass handheld, fuck it. I think you have a winner right there. But Drix, I don't know about this new console. If this push into the paradigm, a new paradigm of console gaming. But if my TV can do it, why do I need the middleman?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the new paradigm is you don't need a console.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're trying
and this
to
console
say.
will push you further into that.
Into not having a console. But
Yay.
you know, at least, dear viewer, you no longer need to go with not having CFM radio.
Yes. No, we had a nice break. One of us got a new setup. And,
Jesus Christ.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we will definitely be back. Had a little bit of a hiccup. We're gonna see what we can do, folks. Sorry about that, but thank you for stopping.
Sorry if you missed the gameplay on Twitch too.
Yeah, so gameplay's coming back. I'm coming back with Mario Kart World. You get to see for yourself. That's not the only Switch 2 game we're gonna play as well. We're gonna take a look at some of these. We're gonna take a look at the Switch 2 over the next month or so, probably up until September, up until like Borderlands. Let's say it like that, and then we'll really see, like, do some compare and contrast. I've got a lot of Switch games, and they're all supposed to work on the Switch 2. So join me over the next month or so as we test out what this thing can do.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time. A game time.
And with that, thank you, everybody. It's good to be back. Drix, thank you for doing the best spinning on YouTube.
Yep. One of the only VGM DJs I know of, locally anyway. Not in internet land.
But unfortunately, internet land, that means we have to say goodbye to you tonight.
Got some games to play.
We'll be back next week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check us out on all of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Just check us out. Clusterfuck Media. Cluster F-U-K-T Media. We are everywhere. Watch us when we go live on Twitch. Over on Twitch, that's twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. Don't forget that. And don't forget us, because we'll see you next week.
Yes. Thanks for stopping by.
Good night.